Ahead of its official curtain raiser, Red Bull Racing teased the F1 world with an impromptu glimpse of the RB20 at Silverstone, showcasing what could be game-changing adaptations under the guise of evolution. With the grand unveiling of their 2024 Challenger set for February 15th, at their headquarters in Milton Keynes, these early revelations have stirred a whirlwind of speculation and excitement. During a wet morning at the iconic Silverstone circuit, Max Verstappen took out the RB20 for its debut run in a shakedown session that was as much about testing the waters as it was about maintaining an element of surprise. The session, while on paper was closed to the public, still couldn't escape the eagle eyes of some fans and the media, leading to a flurry of images and videos that allowed us to take a closer look at the newly evolved machine. The blurry sneak peek of the RB20 at Silverstone gave us just enough to speculate on what we can expect, showcasing a blend of the familiar and the new. Drawing from the overall successful blueprint of the RB19, there's now been an added focus on tweaking the aerodynamics of the car to the max. The front end of the car, particularly the nose cone and front wing, seems finely tuned to improve the airflow around the car. But what really stands out this year is the RB20's side pod design, with the inlets so finely integrated into the car's silhouette that they're almost invisible, tucked under the large lip placed at the level of the upper edge of the side pods, which seems like it draws some heavy inspiration from last year's Mercedes W14. Another nod to the design cues from last year's Mercedes car is seen in the RB20's engine cover. It sports two bazooka features with a circular section at the base, much like what we saw on the W14. These are angled sharply downwards, a clever move to channel the hot airflow towards the beam wing, enhancing the car's aerodynamics. The air intake has also undergone a significant redesign, now sporting a more squared-off shape, marking a departure from the previous designs. Additionally, the RB20's engine cover has bulked up a bit compared to the RB19, adding an extra layer of intrigue to its overall silhouette. Despite the changes, the RB20 is an evolution of the concept that Red Bull debuted in 2022 as a response to the ground effect rules. During the shakedown day at Silverstone, Red Bull Racing offered a captivating glimpse into their heritage and future by staging a promotional race between the RB20 and the RB1, the team's inaugural 2005 car. This creative juxtaposition not only highlighted the technological strides made by Red Bull Racing, but also served as a unique promotional narrative, celebrating the team's evolution in Formula One. The recent shakedown of the RB20 at Silverstone now sets the stage for their 2024 campaign. With the rules now allowing up to 200 kilometers of driving, twice what was permitted before, this session was a golden chance for the team to take a good look at the car's performance and iron out any kinks before the real action begins. But the RB20 unveiled at Silverstone is understood to be just the launch specification, suggesting that Red Bull may have more up their sleeve. Known for its strategic approach to revealing car specifics, Red Bull likely has significant updates planned for future events. These could be unveiled at the pre-season F1 test in Bahrain or the season opener, potentially transforming the RB20's look and performance dramatically. Given their sheer dominance on the track last season, the focus for the Milton Keynes outfit most likely remains on refining areas like aerodynamics and suspension, and addressing the weight challenges faced previously instead of a complete rehaul. But Adrian Newey, Red Bull's chief technical officer, contemplates whether this evolutionary approach might be too conservative in the face of unknown competitive developments. In a recent appearance on the team's Talking Bulls podcast, Newey shared his perspective on the RB20's design philosophy. Our car, it's very much a third evolution of the 22 car. Last year's car was an evolution of 22 in its main points being, of course, the normal winter development in terms of aerodynamics, some understanding on what we needed to do with suspension to try to improve the car as well, and getting weight out of it because we never got down to the weight limit in 22. This year's car is the third evolution of that original RB18. What we don't know, of course, is the third evolution too conservative, while others have done something different. You just don't know. Newey remarked on the initial success of the RB18, the team's first car under the new regulations. RB18, the first car to the new regulations, I think we managed to get fundamentals right in terms of how we approach the research process, the architecture of the car, in terms of its layout and so forth. We managed to come out with a decent car that we then developed through 22. And obviously, we had a very strong second half of the season in 22. The unexpected continuation of this dominance into 2023, despite expectations of a tighter grid, took New by surprise. In the 23, so now the second season of those new regulations, we completely expected the grid to close up. So last year took all of us, me most of all, by complete surprise. We really didn't expect the domination that we had. Looking ahead, Newey expects a shift in the competitive landscape, with rivals potentially mirroring Red Bull's tried and tested design concepts. This year then, from what I understand, a lot of people, a lot of our rivals, have kind of taken a good look this time, and I suspect there'll be quite a few cars that look very similar to our car. Despite Red Bull's near-total sweep of victories last year, with the singular exception of the Singapore Grand Prix, Newey credits Max Verstappen's exceptional skill as a decisive factor in several close contests. The grid was tight and the races were getting tighter. Austin, we were going to lose that. So we took a gamble and pulled Max in to do an extra stop, and Max did the rest. Vegas, to be perfectly honest, probably Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari was the quicker driver. Max made the difference there for sure. So by the end of the season, although we managed to win everything bar Singapore, everybody was snapping at our heels. So it doesn't take much of a swing over the winter now, so there's a lot of pressure. Confronted with the realities of Formula One's cost cap, Newey talks about the strategic dilemma faced by the team in pursuing innovation while managing resources effectively. There is that question. Should we have a group that goes out and looks at completely left-field ideas, or do we keep developing the route we've taken? We're resource limited, so we can't do everything and we can't look at every avenue, so we've taken the approach of developing what we've got. Hopefully, that will be the prudent and correct decision. After a year of remarkable success, Red Bull is poised to defend their title with vigor. However, as they ramp up for the RB20 launch and the defense of their F1 title, the team faces a cloud of uncertainty. An ongoing internal investigation into allegations against team principal Christian Horner for inappropriate behavior towards a female employee adds a layer of complexity to the team's preparations. Despite all of this, the team has announced that Horner will be front and center at the RB20's launch this Thursday. This comes after more than a week of rumors and uncertainty triggered by Red Bull GmbH's investigation into the F1 team boss's conduct. Horner's expected to field some tough questions from the press about his position at the helm of the championship team. However, given the legal complexities involved, it's likely he'll be treading carefully with his responses. Interestingly, Horner was also present at the RB20's shakedown during Red Bull's filming day this Tuesday, which just puts into perspective his commitment to stay on as the team principal. As of now, Red Bull GmbH hasn't laid out any timeline for the investigation's conclusion. With legal proceedings and interviews of the team's personnel still being conducted, it seems the matter could extend to the pre-season testing in Bahrain next week, or even beyond the season's opening race at the same location on March 2nd. Regardless, the spotlight now turns to Milton Keynes HQ. Red Bull Racing will pull the wraps off the RB20, their challenger for the 2024 season. This reveal will be the final one for this year, placing Red Bull in the position of closing out the season's introductory chapter. The RB20's unveiling, set to be streamed live, will not only spotlight Horner, but also star drivers Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez, alongside F1 Academy talents Emily De Hughes and Hamda Al-Kubisi. Fans eager to catch the reveal can tune into the team's social media channels at 9:30 UK time to witness the launch. Do you think the RB20 will maintain the competitive edge of its predecessors? Or will the Ferraris, Mercedes and McLarens close the gap this season? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. As always, leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date on more Formula One news.